Hey, what's happening, folks? It's the brother AJ. I'm going to come at you again with one of those Prince thoughts where we talk about Prince. This one should be good. We're going to talk about Prince's halftime performance at Super Bowl 41. That was February 4th, 2007. It was a halftime show that will go down in history. Had to write some notes out so I can set the stage for you. Okay? That was the Indianapolis Colts, led by Peyton Manning, against the Chicago Bears. And if you look at me, I am wearing an Indianapolis Colts jersey. It's a custom-made Colts jersey. If you see the back, it's got my name on the back. Here's the story. So, we have a meter manufacturer, actually not a manufacturer, a repair shop. And we would have to go down and certify that the equipment was good, that the work they were doing, they were following processes and procedures. So we would go down, a couple times in a year and stay for 2 to 3 days to make sure everything was going good and come back. So the owner of that company decided he was going to host a Super Bowl party. And he was like, well, hey, since y'all got to come down anyway, why don't y'all come down on the Sunday, y'all can hang out with us and then do the meter stuff? We looked at each other and was like, that's a great idea. So it was 3 of us. That's how we ended up with the jerseys. I was number 7, process analyst was number 4, boss was number 12 if I'm not mistaken. We had our names on the back. We also knew that these people would be hardcore NFC fans because you had the Carolina Panthers. Of course, I'm a Giant fan, so I'm an NFC guy, but we knew a way to just stir them up was to come down here in these Indianapolis Colts jerseys. So we rolled down to the house. It's either on Lake Wiley, I don't think it was Lake Norman, but it's either North Carolina or South Carolina. I don't know exactly where the house was because his business was in South Carolina and the house wasn't too far away. We stayed in Charlotte to get down to the place, so it really wasn't that far, so I don't know exactly what state he lived in. But it was a beautiful ranch house that sat on the lake there, and so we pulled up, we get out, you go to the front door. There was a note on the front door. It said, door is open, come in. Only in the Carolinas could you do that. You do that up here. Yo, we packing. We'll blast you out the back door. And you walked in, and you're in a hallway, and right across from the door in this hallway was this beautiful wooden ship. The thing had to be as wide as my arms are. It was wide, and it was this tall with the beautiful sails on it. The thing was gorgeous. I was like, I would open the door, snatch that, put it in the car, and took off with that. That alone was worth a grip, okay? At that time, I would say the gentleman who owned the company, his name was Randy Austin, and it was called Austin International at that time. And he had to be worth, some millions of dollars. So the house was really nice. You come down the hallway, you make the right, you walk down the hall, and you come into an opening, and you could see the glass doors to the left as they looked out over the lake. I think it was like the kitchen, living room, family room type setup that you could see. And then you walk past that, there was a popcorn machine out there, one of them old-time popcorn machines that you could just dump your popcorn in the bag. And then you turned into what was the theater room. He had his own theater in there. And they had, like a 10, 12, 15, 20-foot screen. Don't ask me. I don't know. Let's just say it was a projector with the big screen. It was like being in a movie theater. You had the movie-style seats and you had extra seats because it had to be probably 12 to 20 of us there, if I'm not mistaken. And so we're all set to watch this game. We were all set. So they looked at us, they're giving us a hard time because we rocking these jerseys, And opening kickoff. Indianapolis Colts, kickoff to the Chicago Bears. Devin Hester gets the ball at like the 8-yard line, poof, takes off, runs it back 92 yards for a touchdown. Those folks jump up, they are screaming like you can't believe, and they're just giving us the business. So I stood up and I looked at my boss and said, hey, you want me to go out to the car and get the Bears jerseys now? And the whole room cracked up. So fortunately, or unfortunately, depending what side you fall on, The Colts ended up winning that game. That was Peyton Manning's first Super Bowl. They won that game 29-17. So they actually, beat them down pretty badly. So now, here we come to halftime. We get set for halftime. All the men leave, and they go out back, because you got the beautiful lake, you got the patio out there, you got your cigars, got your drinks, and they about to get it in. All of a sudden, the host looks at my boss. He's like, "Hey man, where's AJ? He don't like, cigars. He don't want to drink and smoke with us." My boss is like, "Oh, you guys don't know AJ. AJ is a hardcore musician, and his favorite musician of all time is Prince. And guess who's performing the halftime show?" He said, "That man ain't going nowhere till Prince come off that screen." And sure enough, here I am. I'm standing in the middle of the floor now, because half the people done left. I got half the floor, and it's all the ladies are there. And I am there waiting for this to kick off. Then all of a sudden, the lights go dark. You hear the rumble, and it opens up with the sounds of "We Will Rock You." And you hear Prince, you don't hear Prince, you hear the and all that, you hear the crowd screaming and yelling. Then all of a sudden, he breaks into "Dearly Beloved." He comes up out the floor, and he breaks into "Let's Go Crazy." He had the cymbal set up as his stage, and I don't know how they put it together that quickly, but they got that cymbal up there, and he comes out with this, the suit was almost Miami Dolphins covered. It was like that light blue with a little flash of orange in it. And he came out there with his leopard guitar, and he just rips it. He starts going into "Let's Go Crazy." They even let the crowd come onto the field. The crowd comes rushing to the stage, so you get that like he's in concert kind of thing. And I mean, he is in rare form. He's killing it. And a nice rain is starting to fall. This is the first time in the history of the Super Bowl that it rained at halftime, okay, on the performance. And of course it would be on Prince, right? So he's got a do-rag on, so you don't see his hair. He's out there just ripping it. So they go from "Let's Go Crazy," and then he goes into "Baby, I'm a Star." And just as "Baby, I'm a Star" starts, you hear this rumble, and from both sides of the stage, here comes the Florida A&M marching band. Prince had secretly reached out to the band to get them to come, so they got them to rehearse with him, and he brought the band out, and folks didn't know the band was going to appear. So now you got his band on stage going, but you got the marching band filling in those holes. So that was over the top and made it incredible. So he goes from "Baby, I'm a Star" into 1999. That's his signature jam, so he's got that popping, all right? And then he goes into "Proud Mary." And he gets rid of the guitar and he sings "Proud Mary." He's got his girls dancing around him as he's ripping "Proud Mary." And I want to say it was either Shelby, I think, came over and sang with him. She was the bald-headed black sister that came out there, and he did a nice little duet on that, the way Tina and I could go. And he's just killing it. You can hear the crowd. The music sounds tremendous. I'm standing in the middle of the floor. I think I got my beer. I'm going hard in there. Everybody's, the folks that are in there, they're watching me. They're like, "Yo, this dude really loves this guy, huh?" So all of a sudden, he goes into "All Along the Watchtower" by Bob Dylan. And they hand him they hand him a light blue guitar. And he's ripping Bob Dylan's "All Along the Watchtower." It was so soulful, very legato, long notes. So he's just ripping that guitar, and his voice is in rare form. And he goes right from that into the Foo Fighters' "The Best of You." That was probably the sleeper song that nobody saw coming. Matter of fact, I even know that Dave Grohl, the leader of the Foo Fighters, when he tells a story about that Prince played his song, he said, "All the hits that Prince got, and he played our song?" He was like blown away. So Prince, and he played that for quite a bit, and he ate that up also. So he hands off the blue guitar, and then they hand him the purple cymbal guitar. That's this guy. Just so you can see. He comes out with that bad boy, and you know what he's going to do next. Now he's going into "Purple Rain." So now he goes into his signature Purple Rain, and the rain starts to get harder as he's going into Purple Rain. He takes the do-rag and he rips the do-rag off, and he just said, the hell with it. They were so concerned that my boy was going to get electrocuted. They were panicking that he was going to get electrocuted with the rain falling down, all this electronic equipment and everything. They were just praying that he didn't die on that stage. And remember, the stage is slick. He's got high heel shoes on. The girls are dancing around him, all this motion. It was a disaster waiting to happen. But guess what? None of that happened. The show went flawless except for the rain. And he killed it. I mean, he absolutely killed it. He performed as though he was performing in concert. And you could see the difference when acts come up and they got pre-packaged music and they got all this fancy dance steps and all this. And it's not about the music. His show was all about the music. And after the show was over the next days, all you heard was it was one of the best halftime performances that they'd seen in the history of the Super Bowl. Everybody lost their mind. And let me give you a couple things. If you don't believe getting that Super Bowl spot matters, even for a superstar like Prince, let me give you a couple stats just so you can understand the ramifications of getting in that spot. Check this out. First off, it was ranked as one of the best halftime shows ever, but the album sales increased from 14,000 up to 31,000 the following week. That's double. His digital sales increased from 59,000 to 102,000. That's almost double. His Amazon sales went up 700%. And that's all on the strength of performing live at the Super Bowl, but not just performing live. Performing live is Prince and doing what you do. And that performance to me, if I had been home, I'd have been seeing it on my little, 40-inch TV. To see it on the theater-style screen, to be on the middle of the floor, have all this open space. I was in there singing and losing my mind. I was sweating because it was just so intense. And the people that was around me, they were like, oh my God, they started getting into Prince because they saw how I was getting into Prince. And when I went out to get my cigar, to get my little cognac on, they were like, oh, are you okay? I was like, yo, I just had an out-of-body experience. So that Prince performance, if you haven't seen it, I would encourage you to go to YouTube and go watch that clip. It's only about 12 minutes long if you find the whole thing. And watch his performance. And for all you aspiring musicians, that's how you put it down. That's how you hit that stage, own that stage, and be the legend that you are. Hey, this is the brother AJ, another one of those classic Prince thoughts, as I bring it to you as only AJ can. See that? Brother Jones in full effect. Love you. Live to see the dawn. Bye-bye.